We no need no. You them dumb bags, we no need no. All sitting there, we no need no. You them dumb bags, say we no need no. You them say we no need no.
When they come back now studio to one of our guests them, we are the executive director for the Center for the Accountability and the Rule of Law, Carl. And as soon as I don't hear the name, Carl now one of the civil society organization them, we don't they talk on different things them we get for do with upholding the rule of law, especially we campaign constitutional matter them. Ibrahim Tommy don't there for several years, don't they call out some of the ill issues them we get for do with the salon laws and save the constitution. Mr. Tommy there again, not so new thing this. Over the years, you don't need at the same studio, we don't they talk about police brutality, we don't they talk about the way how the police they handle certain issues them we get for do with the citizens them. From last week to now, I believe so you don't they follow issues them now the social media, citizens them don't they call out the police on issues they where they then feel say the police they do wrong. And the case study for now the issue we get for do with a popular musician way now LJ, how the police people they allege say they don't they treat they don't they take off indignity and self issues that we get for do to human rights. From Carl perspective, how una don't they monitor and see the way how police don't they handle this particular issue we get for do to LJ?
Clearly, I think they don't exceed their limits. There can be no justification for that kind of mistreatment. It's degrading. It has no place in our society, and this is the reason. Keep in mind that LJ, as we speak, not just a suspect. That is the most important thing. We know in other places, even in America, they get prisons and we get their own rules. From prison, from state to state, they go say a convict no can we prison if you know, if you get let's say dreadlocks here. But then now when you have been convicted, and there are standards or man known. This not just a suspect. And to be honest, I don't tell like you say we would monitor acts of police brutality, degrading treatment to citizens in general. But now the first 10 days are really, perhaps not the profile of the person, but the first 10 days me here is really then shave off somebody in here. Forceful, of course, it had to be forceful. And more importantly, as they say, not just a suspect. So think about it. In case after the investigation, they conclude, say, we'll not even get sufficient evidence for charge, or they even charge, they acquit and discharge him. How many times LJ don't get brushes with the law? They go to police cell and come on. So this is a different holding setup, I guess. And I don't even know, maybe there is a legal basis for that. But I understand now OSD them. We'll go talk about the OSD them from the days as ISU, SSD, OSD. When we talk about police brutality in a salon, to be honest, not them, not the one unit within the salon police we really need for target for reforms. Because the general duty or service police officers, for the most part, the traffic police will know what they can do, right? The one that they take statement will know it's not the issues. It's about bribery, it's about corruption. Let's call it out. Then when they OSD them, they don't really know the illegal use of force and the degrading treatment when they met out. You talk about how long, just on June 19th, this is not just about 3 years ago, we an advocate, we issue a statement. I go back in recent time, I can go way back to many years ago, but a lot taken in the last 3, 4, 5 years. We issue a press release after the police clash with civilians in our APC headquarters. We see on video how they manhandle citizens, right? Fast forward, when I remember the IPAM incident, that female student police drag. IPCB, this is the Independent Police Complaints Board. So in other words, there have been efforts over the years to make sure there is civilian oversight of the salon police. In the past, it was just the police. Now you get ONS, you get IPCB, you get HRCSL, even ACC to some extent. All these are mechanisms which are run by civilians for ensure there is oversight of the salon police. IPCB investigator IPAM incident, for example. Why make I talk about this? I tell you, say, We have made progress in terms of holding them to account, but there is still a huge gap for make sure say we hold them accountable for what they do, and perhaps that's where the problem is.
Mr. Tommy, it's good we get you Naya today for talk on this topic, because you know one person, even with listener then go agree say your voice not new again will to talk about alleged police brutality on the citizens. And this particular issue we look at today, it don't start since last week Sunday. And 2 allegations don't they come at play. 1, they all get for do shaving the dreadlocks of the musician. 2, now that forcefully inject them with a red substance. Now, an interview with Media 2, the deputy head of media na the Salon Police, na his sister radio station and television, AYV, where he grant interview, he deny all the allegation they are so. Then all of a sudden, now a press release where the same Salon Police pool, they accept say yes, then shave the musician in here, where according to them, na part of the SOP of this particular holding center where this person did. We then mix statement there, so don't they come out from the police. You want to agree say yes, they really inject this musician with this red substance where people they allege say they forcefully inject them for cutting dreadlocks?
Of course, I'm not gonna know whether they inject them, because the only person who could tell you that one they na LAJ, and beyond which he could tell you, I'm sure there are medical ways for confirm that. But what they say, Khadija, we very important to this conversation. Now, how then did they further diminish public trust in the police, not just in what they tell us, but even how then they execute their mandate? It's a PR disaster for let you be the deputy spokesperson for the police. They flat out denying waiting people in the allege. Then in less than 24 hours, you see a statement where they now confirm saying, indeed, we shave off the man here because it's consistent with some standard operating procedures, which, by the way, me never see. I'm very interested in the police. And like Madam President say, they play a very important role. If police not in a saloon, we all perhaps not go there. It's a very important role they play. And they do it in such a difficult context. But they make it more difficult when they really go out of their way for attract this kind of unnecessary attention to themselves. They can definitely, all the challenges where police face are true, but none of them challenges them. They explain why they go shave off somebody in here forcefully in the name of some standard operating procedures or only the pop-up after public concerns about this. It's not fair. It's wrong. It shouldn't be happening.
So shaving in here, Mr. Tommy. Another issue they know they come up from the solicitor for LAJ. Now that then deny them access to in clients. Then secondly, on Tuesday, following the Sunday, they arrest them. It happened for me to think client and CID. Then bring and come day for can take statement. When are they in safe according to Ramsey and say in the dreadlocks don't shave off. In client tell and say if they sleep na beer grown, they handcuff in and then behind him back. And with ordinary boxer, now so it is sleep, now the cell outside, then lock him. All the treatments they have for a detainee according to the law. Now, thing the way the police for apply.
Whether you're a suspect, an accused, or a convict, you have rights. So the Luanda guidelines, where I'm sure the police leadership, the police personnel, they receive plenty training. So me, I keep saying, okay, police need training. Yes, they need training, but I'm not thinking a lack of knowledge because all of this. I just think just a plain impunity for some of these actions. And let's talk about this for a moment, Khadija. You see, very recently, one policeman, they will go shoot and kill somebody over land. In less than 2 months, they prosecute, convict, send that man, they go convict her for manslaughter, they jail, they serve 5-year prison term. But that was when he was pursuing his own individual, personal, private agenda. Waiting now with problem right now in the salon is when a police officer, even if it is on a lawful assignment, it then do an unlawful thing, that protection where it get from state actors. So, for example, if IPCB investigate and compile a report and recommend, say, if this is not thing way for established criminal liability, send it to the law officers department, to DPP. Waiting DPP they do or fail for do, now part of the problem. Or send it to the IG, say this require disciplinary action or administrative action. The failure of the IG or then two offices them for make sure say they act on their recommendations is part of the problem. So it is wrong to answer your question more directly. It is even, to some extent, criminal for let you treat anybody like that. In other words, any treatment where they outside the law, it's wrong, it's illegal, and it shouldn't be happening. And we care about human rights credentials as a country. So we cannot be going out there talking about human rights protection and let them hold you as a bastion of human rights. But here, they violate people and rights. This is not even about LAJ. By the way, I've never met him. I know I've seen him on video, but I don't know him as a person. I've never, ever met him. But it's not about him. But why make public attention there? Because they use one case, right, for then address a lot of other issues. Human Rights Commission, they shortly start public hearing into police abuses, I think going way back to 2015 to date. I really go urge the Human Rights Commission for go down to places like Bay, depressed communities for special hearings. Let them talk about Benghazi.
So looking at the urge, Mr. Tommy, don't they hear from the lawyer for the father of LJ? Don't they come out? He don't write, I think, 1 or 2 pieces on the collaboration with the Human Rights Commission where they don't get access to this detainee when I LJ, but all of them attempt so then they make it not seem for be successful. The Human Rights Commission in all of this, the power not seem for whole for talk to the police. When I get access to this lawyer, let it get information from this detainee. You think so they really get that power in this?
You have to give them credit, right? You have to really give the Human Rights Commission credit. They have done a fantastic job in this current circumstance. They not get police force. They not get soldier. We go say let overpower the police force so they not Benghazi. No, what they did and clearly what any Human Rights Commission would do in this circumstance. Now for make representation say we don't worry about some allegation of human rights violation. We want to see the suspect. Do and give people the lawyers of this detainee access to inclined. Let talk to them. They did that. That's fantastic. But what you are saying there, and which is really scary, speaking for myself, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, is when a state body like the Human Rights Commission go na a holding center, a police cell, and say, we are representatives of the Human Rights Commission, please grant us access. It is within their power. The act where establish Human Rights Commission, give them that power. So basically, not just flagrant disrespect for state institutions. So the police should be seeing themselves, and this is a very important point, so I have to make this. Not so police create the law or the constitution, or not even government or, for example, office of the president or AG create the constitution. Now the constitution creates the institutions. They are all the police empowers. Now the constitution creates them, and the laws them when they make now based on what the constitution provides. So when the Human Rights Commission come, when a statutory creature, obviously they get power from the constitution and say it is within our powers for come there and get access to somebody, you refuse them. It shows one of two things: either you're not aware of the law or you just want to disrespect the law, and that is unacceptable. And police leadership for no than therefore communicating it to everybody demand their police facilities.
Continue for the we name now Ibrahim Tommy, the executive director for Center of Accountability and Rule of Law. Today inside the program Good Morning Salon, where they look at concern the way people get, but how the Salon police don't they do their work. Well, inside the program now we go for a break, and after that the program they continue.